Hello everyone, welcome to Study Online and welcome to Python class. Today I'm going to discuss a very important topic, and this particular topic will be neglected by most of the Python developers, and one who wants to learn Python, they'll not be aware of this topic in detail. That is very important. Simply what they will do, they'll just learn the basics of this topic, but today I'm going to teach you the in detail of this particular topic. Okay, sir, what is the topic name? If you ask me, I'll just tell the topic name happens to be operators in Python. Let me just write the topic name. The topic name happens to be operators in Python. That means, what do you mean by operator and how many types of operators are there? All those things is what I'm going to discuss in this particular session. I want each one of you to write down the points in between the class, or maybe you can just pause the video, or maybe soon after the class you can just go through the notes whatever I have given. But ultimately, please write down the notes. That's what I will give. I'll be providing the notes. There is no issue in that, but you may have to write the handwritten notes. Let me just do one thing. Let me just share you my screen. Okay. If I think my screen is visible for each one of you, let me just do one thing. Let me just open the folder Python. In this folder, I'm going to create a new text document. The text document name happens to be operators. I will tell operators in Python. Operators in Python. Okay, or simply I'll just tell operators because the folder name happens to be Python itself, right? Within this operator, I'll just tell a couple of sessions is what I'm going to consider. This happens to be the session number 1 when it comes to operator. Session number 1. Okay, I think many of you will be having this doubt. Sir, what do you mean by operator? Let us just start off with a definition of an operator. First of all, before me starting with the definition of what exactly operator, please tell me, have you seen something like that? Okay, sir, what is that, sir? Maybe if I just tell like this, 10 plus 20, I think you already your mind will start to think the answer, right? Sir, output is 30, sir, or the answer is 30, sir. But my question is pretty simple. When it comes to 10 and 20, whatever the data that I have taken, 10 and 20, what are these things called as? And in between, I have used a symbol that is plus symbol, correct, right? What is this plus symbol called as? That is what my question. Yes, I know everybody will be watching the recorded video of this class. That's the reason you may have to tell the answer for yourself. Is that fine? It's a self-learning mode. Please tell me, this particular 10 and 20, what are these things called as? Any idea? Okay. This particular 10 and 20 is called as what? Operands. Is that fine? 10 and 20 is called as what? Operands. Okay, sir, what is the operator that is being used, sir? See here, plus operator. That's the reason I can just tell that plus is technically referred as what? Operator. Now, I hope if I tell you to define what do you mean by operator, what will be your definition? What will be your definition? It is pretty simple, right? Operator is a symbol which performs some operation or task according to our requirement. That means according to my requirement, here my requirement is what? I want to perform addition. That's the reason what I have done. I have used plus operator. That means if someone is asking you what do you mean by operator, the answer is pretty simple. Operator is a symbol which performs some operation or task according to the requirement. According to the requirement. Is that clear? Okay, this was the simple example. Now the question is, how many types of operators are there in Python? That's very important. Is there any idea for anyone how many types of operators are there in Python? When it comes to Python, there are totally 9 operators. How many operators? There are totally 9 operators. Okay, sir, which are those operators, sir? First one I can just tell it as arithmetic operator is there, equality operator is there, relational operator is there, logical operator is there, bitwise is there, shift operator is there, assignment operator is there, ternary operator is there, special operator is there, sir. Like this, couple of operators you may have to learn. One by one, I'm going to consider. At this point of time, what I'll do, I'll just paste all the operators, whatever you should be learning in Python. So here, when it comes to Python, these many operators are there. That means Python provides so many operators as follows. First one, arithmetic operator. Second one, relational operator, or you can just call it as comparison operator. Next, equality operator, logical operator, bitwise operator, shift operator, assignment operator, ternary operator, special operators. When it comes to special operator, there are two things that will come under special operator. Which are those two things? Identity operator as well as membership operator. Is that fine? Guys, and one more thing in between, if I'm committing any spelling mistake, please do forgive me. It doesn't mean that I don't know English spelling and all. Maybe while explaining or while typing, 100% I'm also a human being. 100% I'll also be committing a mistake in spelling. Fine, please do forgive me for that. If there is any spelling mistake, you just correct that and you just ping me in WhatsApp or Telegram so that I'll correct those things. Okay. Yeah. Let us just do one thing. Let us just start off with the first type of operator. I think already people are aware of the first type of operator. Which is the first type of operator? Arithmetic operator. Arithmetic or arithmetic, anything that is up to your wish. Arithmetic operator. When it comes to arithmetic operator, in arithmetic operator also there are several types. Okay, sir, how many types are there, sir? There are totally 7 types of arithmetic operators in Python. Okay, sir, which are those arithmetic operators, sir? I think 4 operator you people are familiar, correct, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That means plus, minus, star, divide symbol, correct, right? Next, modulo operator is there. Floor division operator is there. Power operator, or some of them might be calling it as exponent operator, that is also there. Let me just do one thing. Let me just paste those things on the console. Observe. See here, there are totally 7 arithmetic operators in Python as follows. Plus means what? Addition. Minus means what? Subtraction. Star means what? Multiplication. This symbol is used for division. This symbol is used for modulo operator. So what do you mean by modulo operator? So don't worry, I'm going to explain each and everything in detail. Next, if you're using this symbol, floor division. I know many of them will be having this doubt at the back of your mind. Sir, what is the difference between division and floor division, sir? Don't worry, I'm going to teach you that. Next, power operator. Is that fine? That means if you're using double star, power operator or exponent operator. I'll just do one thing. I'll just consider example number 1 .py I will tell. Why? Because every time I'll be considering a Python file to explain the topic. I'll just do one thing. I'll just share you the Sublime Text. Please tell me if Sublime Text is visible or not. I hope Sublime Text is visible for each and everyone. That's the reason what I'll do. In this particular Python, I'll just create a new folder. Already that particular folder I have added into Sublime Text. In order to understand this topic, you should be aware of what is Sublime Text, all those things. I think in the Python class I have explained that. Okay, listen properly. I'm going to consider a topic called maybe a folder called as programs. Okay, inside this programs, I'm going to consider a new folder. The new folder name happens to be operators. I will tell operators. Under programs operator, I'm going to create a new file. The file name happens to be example number 1.py. Okay, sir, what is this example number 1.py, or what you'll be teaching? What is the first operator that I have taught? Or else what is the first operator that I have to teach? Don't you think addition operator is what I have to teach? Okay, sir, when it comes to addition operator, what you will teach, sir? That is pretty simple. See here, I'll consider 2 variable. I'll just do one thing. I'll just consider a variable called as a, which is holding the data 10, and I'll consider a variable called as b, which is holding the data called as 20. Now I'm going to perform all the operation, that is addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, all those operations is what I'm going to perform. Okay, sir, how are you going to perform, sir? It is pretty simple. Here, if I just tell print a plus b, what will happen? Added data is what I'll be getting. Similarly, I'll just copy this. I'll just paste it here. Instead of a plus b, I'll just tell a minus b. That means what? I'm just subtracting the data. Next, a star b. That means multiplying the value of a and value of b. That means star is the operator. A and b are operands. Is that fine? Next, a divided by b. If I say, if I execute, I hope everyone are aware of the answer, because I'm not going to involve in what is the answer that we'll be getting. Why? Because it's a pretty basic mathematics. That means 10 plus 20 is 30. 10 minus 20 is minus 10. 10 into 20 happens to be 200. 10 divided by 20 happens to be 0.5. I think 100%. There will be no issue in the output. You have to understand the concept. That is very important. Next, it's a pretty simple example. That is example number 1, whatever I have considered. When it comes to example number 2, I want each one of you to understand. Please observe properly. I'll just do one thing. I'll just consider data like this. Okay. Example number 2.py. Observe properly. See here, I have just taken the data happens to be 10 and the second data happens to be 2 is what I have considered. I'll just do one thing. I'll just copy all these things. And I'm going to paste it. I'm going to paste it here. Same thing as here. If I save, if I execute, you should be very careful in observing the output. Please tell me 10 by 20. What is the output that I got? 0.5. Now, if I save, if I execute, please tell me 10 by 2. What is the output? 5. But what I'm getting? 5.0. Now tell me 5.0. Is that an integer data or float data? Don't you think it is a float data? Because after dot, there's a decimal data. Correct, right? It's a float. It's a complete float data. Now you have to understand, if I am dividing an integer by integer, by default, how the data would be displayed? The data would be displayed in the form of what? Float. Is that clear? Okay, next what, sir? Next you only observe. Now what no, sir, I want 5, sir. I want 5 as the output, sir. I don't want this 5.0, sir. I want the integer as the output, sir. If you want the integer as the output, don't divide using division symbol. Rather use floor division. Sir, what is floor division, sir? Same, see here. Copy this, paste it here. Instead of this one symbol, you can just tell multiple symbols. This is division, this is floor division. If you are using floor division, and if you provide an integer and an integer data, then what will happen? The data will be integer, it will not be decimal. You only observe, I'll be getting the output as what? 5. If I save, if I execute, see here, I got the output as 5. Is that clear? Please do respond for yourself. Is that clear? Shall I proceed further? Okay, great. Okay, if you people are aware of this, let me just take a few examples. You should tell me the answer. Ultimately, I'll be executing the program, that is secondary, but you should tell me the answer. Observe. I'm going to paste it. What is the output? If I take 10.0 divided by 2, what will be the output? Integer or float? Float, correct, right? Float divided by integer. If I save, if I execute, then also the output is what? 5.0. That means if you use divide symbol, then ultimately you might be taking the data in the form of float, integer, or integer. Don't you think the data would be displayed in the form of what? Float. Is that clear? Next, I'm going to consider another example. Think and answer what might be the output for this one. Why? Because many of them might be getting confused. Once again, please recall yourself. Integer, floor division, integer. What will be the output? Integer format. Is that fine? If you consider an integer and if you divide an integer, the output will be in the form of what? Float. But if you consider an integer, floor division of an integer, the output will be what? Integer. That's what you have seen. See here, 5. That's what you have seen. Now what I'm going to consider, I will take float, floor division, integer. See here, float value, floor division, and I have just taken the integer. Now it is very important. If the data is a float data, if the data is a float data, even though you're using float division, ultimately the output will be displayed in the form of what? Float data. Sir, please execute, sir. Yeah, if I say, if I execute, you only observe 5.0. Is that clear for everyone? Please do respond. Is that clear? Okay, great. Let me just do one thing. Let me just take another example so that you people should tell the proper answer. No one I'm telling. I'll just take 10 floor division 3. What will be the output? No, guys, forget about the output. What will be the answer that I'll be getting? What is the answer that I'll be getting? That you should tell me. Do you think I'll be getting 3 or 3.33, something like that? Please do respond. What I'll be getting? 3.33 or 3? Okay, here you just tell me. Okay, forget about this. Forget about this. You just tell me right now. 10 divided by 3. Don't you think 3.33 is what the output that I'll be expecting? Yeah, same output is what I'll be getting. If I say, if I execute here, I'll just cancel this. If I say, if I execute, I'll be getting 3.3333, something like that, correct, right? But same thing, I'll just copy here. I'll just paste it. Instead of division, I'll be using floor division. If I'm using floor division, don't you think all these floating values will be chopped off or will be eliminated? And I should be expecting the output as what? Only 3, because integer, floor division, integer. If I save, if I execute, don't you think the output is 3? Is that clear? Please do respond. Is that clear? Okay, great. Now what I'll do, I'm going to consider a couple of examples so that you people should not be getting confused. I'll just consider 10.0 floor division 3. Please tell me the answer for yourself. No, will I be getting the output as 3.33, or will I be getting the answer as 3, or will I be getting the answer as 3.0? That is very important. If you are using floor division, then what will happen? You only observe. You will not be getting the output as 3.33. No, you cannot. So then what will be the output, sir? See here, 3.0. Sir, what, sir? This particular 3.33 has been waived off and it has taken 3.0. Why, sir? Don't worry, I'm going to explain why it has chopped off the data and why it has considered 0. I'll tell you that. Observe properly. Assume that, let me just do one thing. Let me just share you the notes, that is operators. Observe properly. I want each one of you to observe. If I consider 10.3, if I consider 10.3, see here, if I consider 10.3, please tell me, if I consider 10, don't you think this 10 is an integer? 10 is an integer, 100%. 10 is an integer. Next, what about 10.3? 100%. 10.3 is what? Float data. Float data. In that float data, there will be two categories. That means if I tell 10, or else if it is considering 10, if it is considering the answer as what, 10, then what is it is called as, if you give the data as 10.3, but internally Python is considering it as what, 10, then it is called as floor data. That means it will just take this data. That's it. That's it. Is that fine? Technically, it is called as what? Floor data, not float data, floor data. Next, if it is considering, instead of 10.3, if it is considering 11, that means the next number, then it is sealing the data. That means it is just taking the next data. That's it. Is that fine? If it is 10.3 and if it is considering 10, then it is called as flooring the data. If it is taking the next data, that means what, 10.3. Now, what is the upcoming data? 11. Then it is called as seal data. Is that fine? Sir, why you are telling all these things, sir? Now tell me, if you consider this example, I hope in your mind, what is floor data, what is seal data, already that is there in your mind. Please tell me, if I divide a float using floor division, so here a float number, floor division, integer, please tell me what will be the data? Don't you think it will consider what? Floor data. It will consider the floor data. I know you'll be expecting 3. No, it has taken the floor data in the float format. Is that fine? It has considered what? Floor data. That means it has not considered 3.33, or it has not considered 4. It has taken 3. 3 is what? Floor data. But that floor data will be displayed in the form of what? Floating point. That's the reason 0.0. Is that clear? Don't worry, guys. Going ahead, you'll understand. Okay. Let me just do one thing. Let me just take a couple of examples so that you people will be getting even more clarity. I'll just do one thing. I'll just take a 20 by 2. A 20 by 2. You should tell me the answer. 20 by 2. What is the answer? Sir, it is pretty simple, sir. Integer by integer. Float, sir. That is 10.0, sir. See here. 10.0. Next, think and answer. What will be the output for this one? I'll be considering float divided by integer. That means I'll just take 20.5 divided by 2. A float divided by integer. Ultimately, the output will be float itself. That's the reason I got an output as what? 10.25. 10.25. Next, you should think and answer. I will consider an integer, floor division, an integer. Don't you think the output will be integer itself? So here, if I execute, 10 is what the output that I got. Next, you have to observe the next one. I will take the float data. Floor division 2. You don't worry about the answer. Just tell me whether you'll be getting the answer in the form of float or not. 100% float. But you may have to tell me the answer. Do you think I'll be getting the answer as 10.25 or I'll be getting 10.0? I think by this time, most of them are telling the correct answer. The output is what? 10.0. Is that fine? If I execute here, 10.0, like how I got 3.0, here also same 10.0. Is that clear? Next, observe properly. I'm going to consider a 30 floor division by 2. Hope everyone will be telling the proper answer. That is 15 itself. So here 15. Next, if I consider 30.0 divided by 2. What is the answer? Sir, it will display the data in the form of a float, sir. See here 15.0. Is that clear? I hope I have taken a couple of examples just to show you how the output will be displayed. Next, I'm going to consider the power operator. Guys, power operator means very simple. Multiply the data with the same data. That's it. That is square. That's it. See here. If I consider 10 power 2. What is 10 power 2? 10 into 10. What is 10 into 10? 100. That's what I'll be getting. Next, if I consider 10 power 3. What is the output? 1000. Why? Because 10 into 10 into 10. 10 power 3. 10 multiplied by 10. 100. 100 multiplied by 10. 1000. Is that fine? Power operator. And next, I'll just consider, I will see how many of them will tell the answer for this one. What is 3 cube? 3 cube. See here, 3 cube. 3 to the power 3. 3 into 3, 9. 9 into 3, 27. That's what the output that I'll be getting. See here, 27. Is that clear? Shall I proceed further? Please do respond. Shall I proceed further? I'll just do one thing. I'll be pasting you a program of example number 1 and example number 2 in your notes. Observe properly. Let me just consider the notes, that is operators. And these operators, when it comes to example number 1, let me just copy the complete example. I'm going to come back here. Let me just paste it. Okay. Output also I'll just write. I'll just execute the program, save, execute, copy this, paste it here. While writing the output, please don't write the output like this. Sir, then how we have to write, sir? Or how should we write, sir? It is pretty simple. See here, put some arrow mark here and just tell 30. Next, a minus b. After each and every print function, put some arrow mark or dash or whatever it may be, and just write the output so that whenever you're revising, it will be easy for you people. Is that fine? Next, I'll just consider a star b, that is 200. Next, a by b, that is 0.5. Like this, please write the output after each and every print function. Is that clear? Okay, great. Let me just remove this. Why? Because already I have written the output there itself. Let me just consider example number 2.py. I'm going to copy the complete example number 2.py and I'm going to paste here. Okay. And I'm going to execute the program as well. If I execute, I'm going to copy the complete output. I'm going to paste the output here. And it's okay, fine. I know it is time consuming for me. It's okay, fine. I'm going to paste it here. After each and every print function, I'm going to paste the output. Why? Because I know you people will not do this. At least for initial couple of example, if I try to write like this, you may have to maintain the same thing for rest of the examples. Okay. Next, again, tell me, you should not see the output. 30 is a float division integer. What is the output? The output might be anything, but the output will be displayed in the form of what? Float. Next, 30 by 2. What is the output? 30 by 2. What is the output? Don't you think the output will be what? Integer, that is 15. Next, 20.5 divided by 2. The output is what? Float, but it will take the floor data. That means it will not take the actual output is what? 10.25, but what it will take? 10.0, because floor division integer. That's the reason. Okay, next, 20 by 2. What is the answer? 20 by 2. 20 by 2. What is the answer? Integer by integer, float. 10 by 0. Next, tell me, please to think and answer. What is the answer? 20 by 2. What will be the output? Think and answer. What will be the output? I don't think 20. Floor division by 2. Floor division. If it is floor division, what will be the output? 10 itself. It is not float. Sorry for that. Next, if you consider 20.5 divided by 2, it will display the actual data in the form of what? Float. Next, 20 by 2. It will display the data in the form of what? Float. That is floating point. For this one, I'll just take it as, let me just do copy paste without wasting the time. Okay, 3.0. For this, it is 3. Okay, I'll just tell for this it is 3. Next, for the above one, that happens to be 3.3335, something like that. Okay, great. Next, 5.0. Okay, then I'll just tell 5.0. For this also it is 5.0. Next, for this it is 5. Next, for the above one it is 5.0, 20. Here it is 12. Next, here it is 10 minus 2 is 8. 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, 10 multiplied by 2, that happens to be 20. Next, 10 divided by 2, integer divided by integer, floating point, that is 5.0 is what the output. Is that clear? Whenever you're writing the output, please write the output in this format. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just some dash or something like that, so that you'll not be getting confused from one example to another example. Okay, copy this, paste it here. Here also I'm going to paste it. Okay, yeah. How many of them are able to understand the concept whatever I have taught? That is example number 1 and example number 2. You only give thumbs up for yourself. Okay, great. Observe, I'm going to give you some note point. In case of normal division, irrespective of the operand, the division operator would always return the output in which format? In which format? Integer format or float format? Very good. Float format. In case of normal division, irrespective of the operand. See here, in case of normal division, irrespective of the operand might be float, the operand might be integer. Ultimately, the output will be displayed in the form of what? Floating data. That's what I have written. Next, in case of float division, it would return the output as integer if both the operand is integer. If both the operand is integer, then it will return the output as what? Integer. If not, assume that one data you will be taking it as float, then 100% it will also display the data in the form of what? Float data. Is that fine? Okay, great. Next, Please do respond. I'll just consider a plus operator. Different cases of plus operator is what I'm gonna teach you. Sir, what sir? What are the different cases in when it comes to plus operator, sir? You only observe what are the different cases. I hope you people are aware of basics of Python. Assuming that I'm just moving forward, I'll just consider example number 3.py. That means in whichever the case you should use plus operator, in whichever the case you should not use plus operator, and in between integer if you use plus, what will happen? In between string if you use plus, what will happen? All those things is what I'm going to discuss. Let me just share you the Sublime Text. Hope Sublime Text is visible for each one of you. Let me just consider example number 3.py. When it comes to example number 3.py, I want you to guess the answer. Why? Because it is pretty simple. Already people are aware of Python, right? See here, print 10 plus 20. Sir, answer is very simple, sir. 30, sir. Okay, very good, very good. Next, I will consider a string. In between a string, I will use plus operator. See here, Sandesh, and in between plus operator, and I have just told study online. Now, don't you think what will happen? It will not be acting as what? Plus operator, rather it will be acting as what? Concatenation operator. Sir, why, sir? Why? Because plus that particular symbol is used between a string. If this symbol is used between a string, then it will be acting as what? Concatenation. That means joining, addition. Is that fine? If I say, if I execute here, Sunday study online. Okay, next. We'll see how many of them will guess the answer for this one. Let me just consider. If I consider Sandesh plus, it is not an integer, guys. It is not an integer. 10, whatever I have taken. 10 is a data placed within a string. It is not an integer. It's a string. See here, string plus string. What will be the output? Ultimately, what will happen? Concatenation. I'll be getting the output as what? Sandesh 10. See here, Sandesh 10. And next, please tell me what will be the output for this one. I think it's pretty simple for you people. Same thing. Line number 3 in different format I'm writing. See here, using str function, we can convert the integer data into string. See here, Sandesh plus 6460. It's my byte number. Sandesh 6460. Don't you think concatenation will happen? Sandesh 6460 is what the output that I'll be getting. Next, please tell me what will be the output for this one. I will consider a string plus an integer. String plus an integer. If I save, if I execute 200%, the output will be what? Error. Sir, what is the error, sir? Type error. Why? Because boss, you are not using this symbol in between integer or float, or you're not using the symbol in between a strings. You are using this symbol between a string or integer or a string. That's the reason I'll not be able to provide the output. That's the reason I'll be getting the output as what? Type error. Can only concatenate string, not integer. That means string can be concatenated with string, not an integer. That's what the output that I'll be getting. I'll just copy this error. I'm going to paste it here. Okay, let me just comment that line. If I say, if I execute output also I got, I'll just do one thing. I'll just copy this. I'll just open the notes. I'll just paste it as the output. Already I told you how to write the output, but maybe in between the class, it will consume some time. That's the reason I'm not going to do the copy paste activity when it comes to write the output after each and every print function. You may have to write that. Okay, is that clear? Wherever I encounter what I can tell error, I'll be commenting that line. Will that be fine? Okay, great. Let me just move for further. Next operator happens to be star operator. Next operator happens to be star operator. I hope you have learned regarding the plus operator. Let me just consider the star operator. That means in which case you have to use star operator, or in which scenario you should not use star operator is what I'm going to discuss. Observe properly. I'll just do one thing. I'll just consider example number 4. Yeah, example number 4.py. When it comes to example number 4.py, let me just do one thing. Let me just share you the Sublime Text. When it comes to Sublime Text, I'm going to consider example number 4.py. Okay, observe. Okay, example number 4. We'll see how many of them will tell the proper answer. You should think and answer. Simply, you should not commit any mistake. Now only I'm telling. What will be the output for this one? If I print 2 star 2, what is the output? 2 star 2. That means 2 multiplication of 2. That means the output is what? 4. And next, guys, I'm not speaking about power operator. Power operator means what? Double star. I'm speaking about star operator. That's it. That means multiplication operator. Now think and answer. What will be the output? Okay, I'll just consider a string multiplied by integer. A string multiplied by integer. I'll be giving 10 seconds of time. You just think. in your mind and tell the answer for yourself. What might be the answer? Do you think the answer is error, or the output is Sandesh 2, or multiple times Sandesh will be displayed on the console? You just think on that. It is pretty simple. If you are using star operator between a string and integer, maybe integer you can write it as a first or string later, that is up to your wish. But ultimately what happens, this string data would be replicated twice. If I execute here, Sandesh, 2 times I got. Maybe if I just copy this and if I just paste it here, instead of 2, I'll just tell 3 I will tell. See here, if I execute 3 times Sandesh, that means replication will happen. Is that clear? Please do respond. Is that clear? Okay, great. Now see here, I'll just tell like this. Sir, what do you do, sir? Initially, I will tell integer. Later, I'll just tell string. If I execute same output is what I'll be getting, Sandesh. Next, it is very important. I want you to tell me the answer. If I tell like this, Sandesh, integer, okay, 2.5 I will tell, 2.5. Or I'll just consider, let me just take 7 I will take, sorry, 3 I will take. See here, string data of 3 is being converted into integer of 3. That's the reason. What will be the output? Sandesh 3 times. See here, same output. The output is not been changed. Is that clear for everyone? Please do respond. Is that clear? Okay, let me see one more scenario. We'll see how many of them will tell the output for this. Sandesh multiplied by true. For you, it might be true, but for PVM, what is the data? Don't you think it will just consider true as what? 1? That is the reason. What is the output? Don't you think I'll be getting the output as what? Sandesh only 1 time, because Sandesh multiplied by 1 is Sandesh itself. See here. Okay, great. Next, if you consider a Sandesh and false, what will be the output? I don't think for you it is false, but internally 0 will be treated as what? Empty string. That's the reason the output is what? Sandesh concatenated with empty string is what? Nothing. Sandesh multiplied by nothing. Nothing is what? Empty string. That's the reason I didn't get any output. Is that clear? I got the output as what? Empty string. Empty string. Now tell me what will be the output. We'll see how many of them will tell the proper output. I'll just consider 1 multiplied by 1. I think it is pretty simple. 1 is the answer. Next, 0 multiplied by 1. That means false multiplied by true. The answer is 0 itself. Next, we'll see how many of them will tell the answer properly. Okay, I have just taken plus as well as, see here, Sandesh plus Sandesh. Always the chance will be given for plus operator first. Sandesh plus Sandesh. 2 times Sandesh multiplied by 1. That means same output. That is 2 times Sandesh is what the output that I'll be getting. Is that clear? Now the actual scenario will start. You have to tell me the proper answer, guys. No one I'm telling. Please think an answer. If I consider star operator, in between two string, 100% I'll not be getting the output. That means Sandesh star study online. No, I'll not be getting the output. Error is what I'll be getting. Type error. So what is error, sir? So here, cannot multiply sequence by non-integer. That means if you want to multiply some sequence, it should be what? Integer. That's the reason I got the output as what? Error. I'll just paste the error. That is type error. Let me just comment that. Next, I'm going to go for the next line. There's the next scenario. Observe properly. The next one is also pretty simple. I'll just do one thing. I'll just consider Sandesh multiplied by 2, but the 2 is in the form of what? String. That's the reason here also I'll be getting the same output as error. See here, cannot multiply sequence by non-integer of type string. Same output. I'll just tell the output happens to be type error. You just comment it. Okay. Next, I'm going to move further for the next program. So for the next sequence. Okay, I think every statement is what I have executed. There is no issue in that. I'll just do one thing. I'll just completely copy this. Let me just come back to the notes. That is operators. I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to paste the output as well. Okay, whatever the output that I got, I'll just execute. Let me just copy this. I'm going to paste it. As already I have told you how to write the output. After each and every print function, put some arrow mark and write. Here, what is the output? Where is that? Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, what is the output here? What you will write? Empty string. You just write the output happens to what? Empty string. Okay, see here, empty string. Okay. I think for these things, you people will be writing the proper output. No issue in that. Is that clear? Shall I proceed further? I think you have seen the different scenarios of using this particular symbol, that is plus, and using star. Okay, what will happen? All those things you have seen. Shall I proceed further? Okay, just do one thing, guys. Maybe some of them are pausing the video in between and some of them are writing the notes. That's up to your wish, but I would recommend you to pause the video and write on the notes. If not, at the end of the session, directly just write the complete notes in a single stretch. Will that be fine? Okay, I think that would work fine. Why? Because you might be having some distraction in between. If you start writing your notes, you might be getting some phone call or you might be start losing the interest. That's the reason. Maybe later you can just pause the video and you can later you can just see the notes or pause the video and you can just update the notes. Okay. Yeah, let me just consider the next topic. Please observe and tell me, if I use single slash, what it is called as division. If I use double slash, that is forward slash, it is called as what? Floor division. If I use percentage, it is called as what? Modulo. I hope you people are clearly aware of this. Please tell me what will be the output for this one. Let me just do one thing. Let me just consider example number. What is the example number? 5. Yeah, example number 5.py. Example number 5.py. As normally I'm telling the topic, whatever I'm going to teach right now, it's pretty simple and you have to understand in a very better manner because it's very simple and a frequently asked interview question in the technical MCQs. Now I'm telling example number 5.py. Observe properly. Think and answer. What will be the output for this? 10 divided by 0. 100%. It is what? 0 or error? It is error. What is error, sir? 0 division error. That means division by 0. It is not possible. That's what the error that you'll be getting. Here, I'm gonna write it here. I'm gonna comment this line. Next. I want you to tell me the answer. What is 0 divided by 0? What is 0 divided by 0? That's also what? 0 division error itself. See here, 0 division error. I'm not able to divide that. That is what it is telling. I'll just do one thing. I'll just paste the output, whatever I got. Let me just paste it, comment it. Next. Observe. If you consider a floating point, divided by 0, for this also you'll be getting the output as what? 0 division error. I'll just copy this. If you want, I can just execute this and show it to you. See here, 0 division error. A float division by 0, it is not possible. That is what it's telling. You just paste the output, whatever I got, comment it. Guys, why I'll be commenting? Why? Because I cannot execute the next line of code. That's the reason I'll be commenting. And next, 0 floor division by 0. Sorry, 10 floor division by 0. See here, 10. Maybe in the above example, I have just seen division. Now 10 floor division by 0. Then also I'll be getting the output as what? 0 division error. Integer division. That is integer division or modulo by 0. It is not possible. That's what it is telling. Guys, just be aware of the error. Don't see all these things, integer division, all these things. You just be aware of, you'll be getting the output as what? 0 division error. Is that fine? That you should be aware. That's it. Next, let me just consider the next scenario. I'll just consider a 10 modulo 0, 10 modulo 0. If I execute, then also I'll be getting what? 0 division error. So all the error scenarios we are showing, sir. Yeah, 100% why? Because in the interview they might be asking this. At that point of time, you should not be getting confused. Oh, I know 10 by 0, 0. No, don't tell like that. See here, 10 by 0, 0. No, it is 0 division error. 10 modulo 0, 0.0. No, it is error. Is that fine? Okay, next. Let us just proceed. What is 10 modulo 2? What is 10 modulo 2? First of all, what is the symbol of modulo? What it will do? 10 modulo 2. What it will do? Reminder. See here, 10 by 2. Remainder is 0. 10 by 2. Remainder is 0. Next. Please tell me. I'll just consider 10 by 10 modulo 3. I'll just take 10 modulo 3. See here. Remainder is 1. Correct, right? 3 3s are 9. Remainder is 1. Hope everyone understood how the modulo operator will work. Let me just copy this. I'm going to go back to the operator notes. I'm going to paste it. And here it is pretty simple. What is the output that I got? 0 is the output that I got. Here, what is the output that I got? 1 is the output. And one more thing you people should understand. Sir, what, sir? In this scenarios, you'll be getting the output as what? 0 division error. See here, x, anything you just take, x divided by 0, x modulo 0, x percentage, that is modulo 0, floor division 0. For all the scenario, you'll be getting the output as what? 0 division error. Is that clear? Please do respond. Is that clear? Okay. Now you people would have learned the first operator. What is the first operator? Please do respond. What is the first operator? Arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operator is what you have learned. Is that clear? That means I think I have taken all the arithmetic operators. That means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo operator, floor division, power operator, exponent operator. All the operator I have taken. Is that clear? The next operator, whatever I'm going to explain, happens to be relational operator or comparison operator. Is that clear, guys? Please do respond. Is that clear? Okay, great. Let me just do one thing. Let me just go for the next one that happens to be, what is the next one? Just now I have to, what is the next one? Relational operator. Okay, sir, how many relational operators are there in Python, sir? There are 4 relational operator or comparison operator in Python like this. See here, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Is that clear?